And we are back for another live episode of the Kingdom. We would like to welcome everybody watching across this beautiful country of ours, Manitoba, Sask, Alberta, BC, to Newfoundland, all the way up on the rock, and anybody else who's watching tonight. It is full swing. It is the spring, and we're getting ready for the 2024 golf season. So we got quite a bit to talk about. We got some players. We got the full swing. We got a really good fixture divot tonight. And who knows, maybe Reggie might even have a stroke saver for us. We'll see. But drums, get yourself ready. We'll be back in exactly 30 seconds.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Kingdom. As always, my name is Drums, and I'm joined by the brothers behind King Golf, Regan and Jordan Headley. As we always do this time of the day, we send it straight up north, see what's going on with our boy, Reginald. How are you, buddy?
Oh, hi. Doing good. Doing very good. We're halfway through another week. Cold
Hump day.
here. Hump day. Hump day's right.
Hump day.
Not much else. Came into Brandon, obviously golfed with you on Sunday there, went to OJ's, watched the back nine of the players, had a few beers there, had a couple shots with Rick. Just got convinced to staying or Buck Cherry and Skid Row, but with Easton and her mom, so I didn't think that would work too well. So I headed back home, and now here we are on Wednesday.
I don't know. I haven't heard too many people that actually went to the concert, so I haven't heard if it was good or bad. Buck Cherry, the last time we saw them was at the old Curran Park grounds for X Fest 1 or 2. I can't remember now.
2.
Number 2? Yeah, beauty. Jor, what's happening out in Rossman, buddy?
Top of the evening to you, ladies and gents. Rossman Lake is buzzing. Lots of excitement around here lately with the new pup, Arnie. He never a dull moment in this house lately, that's for sure. Pretty funny, though. He's a pretty funny character. But played a couple rounds of golf since we chatted last. Finished up my rounds for the regular season at the Swingers Club. Played a course. It was called it's in Minot. I don't know what the golf course name is, but it's in Minot. And it was on the sim. It was one of the rounds that I played. And it was beautiful. Let me take a quick look. I could not believe that this golf course was in Minot. So I really want to get there this summer, simply for that reason. Like it just looks like a total Minot Country Club. That's what it's called.
I've heard the name, so must be good because that'd be the reason I heard the name.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard about it before. I think Dal might have played it when he was there, didn't he?
Maybe that's true.
I don't know. I remember talking about it when we were there for the golf or for the hockey tournament there.
If you guys look at take a look at their website if you have a chance. Like the terrain there, the layout, everything was just like unbelievable for Minot. I mean, Minot is fairly hilly though, if I recall. Like the whole city's kind of in a little bit of a hill, rolling hills, I guess. But anyways, so that was good. Played first playoff match on Monday night. Played in Carnoustie.
What are you shooting on this thing?
Pardon me?
What are you shooting on this thing? Oh, Christ.
Oh, is that right?
He's shooting so bad that he got eliminated.
It's got kicked right off here.
Which is about how we played as a collective on Sunday as well. Absolute struggle city. The mulligans were flowing.
Plentiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, why am I so zoomed?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Oh. It's a 3-ring circus here.
What the heck's going on?
Let's just go with it.
What's up, big head? You
I don't
get
like
kicked
that.
out and turn DK mode on?
I'll go way back here. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, what were we talking about there? What do I shoot?
Yeah,
Probably average of like plus 10, plus 11.
it's not bad. Like, are you
Well,
getting
the hard-
better on this thing?
Am I getting better?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
I guess even just score-wise on the sim.
Oh yeah, like you get used to
Yeah.
it. The hardest part on there is it was the exact same thing as Evo has. The hardest thing on there is chipping, I find.
I couldn't get off the goddamn tee box. Like, this is real life all of a sudden. So maybe they are
Yeah.
pretty legit,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get off a goddamn tee box to save my life.
The one thing I will say about that sim in specific, like the Evo ones and the one at Rossburn, they are very accurate. Like I can tell as soon as I hit the ball what it's going to do, and it does that instantly on the screen. Like it's incredible. But the hardest part is the chipping, and some of the greens, if they're really slopey, it's hard to. We play 3-foot gimmies, so it's kind of hard to get it in there tight. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. I won the first playoff match against Trevor Wilson, and on the last putt. So we had a really good match. It was kind of back and forth the whole way. Nobody led by more than one, and kind of what you want. So it's kind of perfect. Big shout out to the guys running Rossburn Swingers Club, Marty and Steve. It kind of worked out perfectly. It's just, during the winter when it's minus 40, it's kind of tough to get there and really get excited to golf. But like this time of year, playoffs, it's just the perfect segue into the golf season. So I've been enjoying it. So that's me. Anyways, let's move on to Drummy. I'll try to fix my camera here maybe because this is kind of awkward. Drummy, what's up in Brandon?
Not much, boys. Like Reg said, it is freezing here again. So we're just back in the up down of the start of the spring season. But yeah, we were pretty lucky to get to play. What did they call it, Reg? Sodgrass?
Oh, you're
Yeah,
muted.
Sorry. DPC Sawgrass.
Yeah, DPC Sodgrass is where we played on Sunday. So we
put it-
got to tee off
the
before
Players
the actual
Club.
boys got going. Yeah. So that was good. The golf was atrocious for myself, but it was good to just get out swinging sticks, get a little loose. And then, yeah, just I spent a lot of time watching golf this weekend. It was pretty nice. I set up a fort for the kid in the entire living room. I had a bunch of blankets and everything so he could spend some time with me while I was watching golf. So that worked out pretty
Nice.
good
Good
for veteran already at this. So if you need tips, let me know.
Very nice play.
Golf was it was a good weekend to golf.
Awesome.
We had a bit of a scramble today, you might say, in terms of the Kngdom. I don't know why. I accidentally signed out of all my Gmail accounts, which is a death wish for me because I'm not the best password keeper for sure. But anyways, I couldn't get into the drive that we share everything on. I couldn't do the agenda. And then the invite that I was sending these boys wasn't working. So bit of a shit show today, but we're here. So we didn't actually come up with the cheers. Do you guys have anything off the top of your heads that you can come up with? I'll give it cheers just because we're live on there right now. But I made the switch today from Rumble to a platform called Zap.stream. So I've been using it for the daily Bitcoin journey shows, and it's awesome. So I doubt there'll be many people watching there. It's kind of more Bitcoin focused, but it's really cool. It has a much more interactive live chat. You can actually send Bitcoin back and forth to each other within the platform there. So if you want to check it out, if you're watching this right now, just go to zap.stream and we'll show up on the very first page there. So I want to give a shout out to them, a cheers to them. And it's just nice to see that there's more platforms popping up that are not only Bitcoin oriented, but also just because YouTube kind of has had a monopoly for a lot of years. So, we talk a lot of shit about our liberal government here on the Kngdom podcast. So we might get the boot someday, and then we can always have Zap.stream to fall back to. Hey, Reggie?
right.
He might get the boot tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
So cheers to, he might. I very much doubt it, but cheers to Zap.stream and everybody over there right now.
In addition to that, the only other one I could think of would be Scotty. Just an absolute clinic. As soon as this guy figured out how to putt, oh boy, look out. Absolutely on fire. That round Sunday was absolutely sickening. Comes from a couple back, just puts on a clinic Sunday, and then sits around, hits a couple balls to figure out, wait, if he won. But absolute clinic, absolutely amazing golf tournament from front to finish.
Yes.
Kind of started off with the Rory Turtle, where did it cross shenanigans?
Oh, yeah.
On
Turtle
Thursday.
Gate.
And Rory still had an incredible round after that and had a tough Friday. So, all in all, amazing tournament. Great kickoff to the season.
Yeah, you're right, Jeremy. It was a lot of fun. It was the first tournament that I was really excited to watch in a while. So we got the Masters coming up soon, and I don't know, just feels like golf's finally back. It's a long winter for the boys here in the prairies, so it's nice to. I think that the PGA did things right in terms of putting the players now, and then the Masters is just a really good. I think the next couple of weeks will be awesome for golf fans. Plus, the new series of Full Swing came out kind of at the same time to get everybody really jazzed up. So that's what we got going on tonight.
What did Scotty Too Hotty shoot on Sunday? 64?
6 under?
Was it 6 or 8? Like, he was way back, man.
How many was he back, you mean?
Yeah.
6 back.
Like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a clinic. And he missed a short one, too. When he missed that short, well, we'll get to that, but...
Like, he did kind of miss, like, a decent amount. Like, it's crazy. He didn't even look like he was playing, like, perfect golf for himself. It was just good enough to wheel around there.
He's
making
incredible,
birdies left
man.
and right.
Holy.
Crazy.
You don't realize how good he is till you watch, like, a full round like that. Like, he is, like...
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It's kind of gross, though, how good he is with his swing.
I think it's good.
That's my favorite part. He looks like a moron out there. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing.
He actually does. That's the funny part. It's like, what is this guy doing on tour? Never mind shooting. As Trev, our fact checker in the chat tonight, shout out to Trev. Let's do a cheers to Trev. Let's do a cheers to Trev. And cheers to everybody who's been showing up even in the long winter months when it's very hard to get excited for golf. We've been showing up, and there's been a few in the chat here every night. So cheers to you guys and to our honorary fact checker, Trev.
He's like our Rogan's Jamie.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just about out of my Caesar here. I had one last obsolete beer in the basement, and I went to bring it upstairs, and I thought it was like 7 or 8%, and I'm like, well, I could handle that. But I looked at it and it was 11%. I'm like, maybe I'll save that for a different night. Just get banged up off one beer.
11%. You know what I just noticed?
Let's send it off the rails a bit.
We got the same outfit on.
Exactly.
Different colors. That's hilarious.
That's wild.
Okay, well, let's make a good segue there into Around the Greens then tonight, Drummy. What do you got much going on?
I kept it pretty light. Did you guys know this? That for the Masters, for the champions dinner, the champion pays for the dinner?
I didn't know that for sure, but I kind of assumed it just because it's kind of their night, and that kind of made sense to me. But I didn't know that for sure.
I had always just operated on the assumption that Augusta had it. Everything covered.
Me too.
Yeah.
Big grilled cheese.
Did you guys
tomato soup if it was me hosting?
Right. Did you see Rombo's menu? Yeah.
I did. What was it was a ribeye steak, and what was the other one on there?
I forget what it was. It was
a weird thing I've never heard of.
It's hard
before.
to read.
Yeah. Let's bring it up right now and see what it was. I bookmarked it on my Twitter. I think. Oh, maybe I didn't.
And then, so was it the invitations that he sent out to meet on the 9th green at 9
I
for
think that was
dinner?
fake.
Was it?
I think so.
That's a heartbreaker.
The other one was turbot.
Turbot. I believe
Okay,
it's
how do you spell it? Turbot.
Turbo T.
Turbot with Navarro white asparagus.
So let's see what that is. What, the fish?
I kind of figured that.
I believe it's an old wooden ship.
Okay, here we go. I'll bring it up so everybody can see what a turbot is. I'm 100% sure I'd be taking the ribbies. That looks pretty damn good. Is this? It would look it's a special kind of ribby too. Where are we here? How can I present
Basque.
that? What is it?
Basque ribeye.
Pluck does that mean?
No idea.
BASQUE. I don't know. Don't matter.
Bisque.
There's the turbot.
I'm real good on the turbot.
That's what you're taking?
No, I'll have the salad.
Yeah, I'll be taking the ribeye, please, Johnny. Ribeye, please. What would you guys have for your meal? What would you have for?
That's actually how they serve it. The turbot, they serve it really big like that. The fillet's really big.
I'm definitely steak, potatoes, some gravy. I like a good Caesar salad, so maybe that on the side. But like just straight up Manitoba farm food. Yeah, I'm not special.
Yeah, I think I'd be the same.
Honestly.
What'd you have, Reggie?
I'd have ahi. It's like,
oh yeah,
I love that shit.
The fancy steak.
No, it's tuna, like raw tuna.
Oh, ahi.
Tuna tartare, no?
What's that?
It's just like
fancy
raw
steak
tuna
that
that you just sear.
Wagyu.
Wagyu, yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Let's. I think I would do ribeye as well. Steak and potatoes, and some Caesars for everybody. Let's kick the show off with this question. What are you guys' thoughts on Rickman's question here in the chat? It says, with a tourney like the Players, are those live guys missed? Is the product any worse without them? Is it going to get boring if it's always Scotty in the mix? Thoughts?
Yeah, that's the thing. You're never going to miss them until you see them again at the majors. And there's only 3 really in my mind that I would prefer to see. Rombo, Brooks, and Cam.
Not DJ?
Now Joaquin. DJ, I think it's just DJ's past the point of relevancy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really miss guys like Bubba on there, honestly.
Really?
Again, and I feel the same way with Bubba and DJ. They're just kind of past where they're relevant to me. In a golf tournament.
Watch a weekend like that?
In a tournament.
Well, I don't know. It's always fun to see what, but I found Bubba to be very entertaining, and also Hatton too.
Yeah, well, Bubba, you never even got to see anymore. Bubba's never in the mix ever.
No, but there'd be like a couple times per round where he does something crazy or something stupid, and he's just very entertaining to me. That's kind of why I like watching golf.
But not having them there didn't make a difference to this tournament.
I don't know. I sure would have liked to have them there for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that. Obviously, you want the best players
anything,
there.
Honestly.
Yeah, it would be a better tournament if they were there. You would be more in tune with it, but the fact that they're not there didn't negate how much I watched or how little I watched.
There wasn't one second of the back nine I was like, man, I wish Rom was in this mix.
Yeah.
Really?
And the PGA is kind of like that like, I think anyways, that it's like every week there's somebody different putting on a show. So it's like Rom could have just as easily been like tied 12th and you saw like 2 of his shots. So would you have really missed him being there? I don't know.
I actually appreciated the fact that I didn't hear like a lot of live shit this weekend. No. Yeah, so like I'm perfectly okay with that.
Like last year it was like, oh, Cam Smith's right down the road, defending champ, can't come play.
Right.
Who cares? He's not. Everybody knows he can't. Don't make a huge deal of it. Don't interview him about it. Don't interview everybody about it.
Right.
Just let it be.
Yeah.
That was perfect that way. They didn't say anything about it.
And then I think like the merger thing is going to get figured out before Scotty becomes stale. I hope.
Didn't they meet this
That's
week?
Yeah, they had they brought in like the big guns. Tiggy was out in Bahamas or Bermuda playing with, I don't know names, but the Saudi guy. So what are you packing in your cheeks there, you little
Lime.
chipmunk?
I went on mute.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough, honestly. I'm after watching the full swing, and I'm sure after the Masters, and we see all those guys kind of in the same field, we'll get a taste for it again. It's the same kind of thing. If you don't see it for a while, it's out of sight, out of mind. So you probably
Mhm.
don't miss it until you have it again for a little sniff. And I do think when we're watching the Masters in Augusta and everybody's there, it's going to be a much different vibe, I think.
Yep.
And
I
we
think
might
other
even
sports though.
we might even appreciate it more than we did before, honestly.
I think other sports though, and I never thought I'd say this because I was pretty rattled when Rom left, and Koepka's gone and Smith's gone, but like I feel like golf has a way of like, I don't know, like burying that almost, that it doesn't really matter if those guys aren't there. Like if it was like the NHL and McDavid went to a different league and you're watching the Oilers, you'd be like, oh shit, where's McDavid?
Yeah.
And
Well,
like baseball, if Ohtani left somewhere else or like Trout went somewhere else, like you'd really notice that. But golf, like this weekend, Scotty stepped up and Wyndham was there. And like it's just different guys that can step up and still do the same thing that the other guys can do.
right.
Like whereas in other sports, it's like there's such a difference between that superstar and the say, I don't know, middle class of the NHL or the middle class of the MLB. Like there's so many guys that can fill in, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we're getting to know more guys now that those guys are gone because they don't hog all the screen time.
Yeah, like look at this leaderboard: Scheffler, Schauffele, Wyndham, Brian Harmon, Fitzpatrick, Siwoo, Hideki, Auberg, Sahith, Joel Damon. Like
Joel
that's
Damon.
that's a pretty great like top 15.
Auberg is nasty.
Auberg's sick.
Just going back to what Reggie was saying there, I think you're right. And I think a big part of that is because if you think about every other sport, like the venue itself really doesn't have anything to do with it. You know, like part of watching golf is like watching the course, the history there, the conditions of it. Everything's always changing. With hockey, it's just the ice in a rink. Like it's the players who make that whole sport. With golf, there's so much more. There's so many factors there, and there's the course is actually part of the whole show itself, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean that's the one thing that the PGA does have going for it still is that they have the courses that everybody's familiar with and the history there.
And they're
there's
the
still
PGA.
a ton of good golfers.
For sure.
I'm with Rickman.
that waggle routine is just nuts.
It's hard to watch. Like you'd think he has to have some sort of
so hard to watch.
self-awareness. Like what are you doing? Somebody's got to tell him.
And like Kiz is on the call all weekend and just gassing him up the entire time. I'm like, Kiz, at least you go talk to him and say, cut this shit. Like, figure it out. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Good player, though. Incredible player.
Very good, but like, is it worth it?
5 foot fuck all.
I don't know what bothers me more, that wiggle or how big his putter is in comparison to him as a person. It really drives me crazy watching him.
It shouldn't. Tiny, man.
It shouldn't, but his putter drives me nuts, man.
Putters are too big now. Like they need to cut the
that
side
thing
down.
is massive. That's like the biggest spider that there's ever been.
Well, it's just because he's 3'4".
No, it's like a different putter too. It's a different spider.
Exact same putter in my kid's hand looks the same size as him. So
no, I'm saying it's a bigger spider than they've ever made. It's like they made it once. It's like a one-off.
XL.
He kept it because
it's like a big truck for small guys.
That's funny.
What was I going to say there? Oh, you know who else is really short? This is jumping ahead a little bit to Netflix, but in the Netflix show, Rory was standing beside JT, and he was at least 3 or 4 inches shorter than JT.
I think
Wow.
they're all like
Small.
sub 5'8". Like it's
They
crazy.
could all ride on horses as the jockeys.
Oh man, there's some. I like that. I watched the first 4 episodes. I got them in for the boys in the last 12 hours.
Attaboy. So that's what we got on the menu tonight. What else?
But back to the players, man.
Yeah.
That Alberg is gonna be a stud. Holy shit, is that guy good?
Mm-hmm.
Like he hits golf shots that not many can actually.
What did he just have a tough Friday, I think it was, and the rest of his rounds were about 60, 66, 68. I think he shot 74 on Friday or
I think so. I think he was over par the one day because he started off 6 under and then I think he was 2 over.
Shout out to Drake for winning our pool. He beat Reggie by a sea hair, and pretty cool. We had 10 people in this one. It was very close. I think there was 3 or 4 people right at the top there.
Who do you have? Auburn? Oh, never mind. Go.
No, he had Scotty. He had Auburn too, I think.
No, he didn't. We both had Scotty, and then I had Rory. Oh, he did have Auberg. I had Rory, and he had Shane Lowry, and Lowry and Rory tied. And then he had Max Homa, who got like $25,000, and I had Tom Kim, who withdrew after round 1.
Oh,
so I didn't get any earnings from Tom.
Right. Yeah, Tom made it to like the 12th hole, I think.
Yeah, didn't you say he had a fever of like 108 or something?
Yeah, he had something crazy.
Was he eating more in and out or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't it in last tournament that was running to the shitter or running to the first tee?
Running back from it, yeah. That was at the Genesis? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was Tig.
Well, Tiger died, apparently. Tiger got anhashed out of that facility, eh? Did you catch that one?
Yeah, that was wild. Just quietly taken away, but everybody's just like, what just happened? So anyways, any more with the players, or we got any more around the greens?
The only other thing I had for around the greens was the Masters app is back up and functional. So you know we're getting close. And there is one name that is currently present on there that is quite exciting. And so far, T-Dubs is in the tournament. We'll continue to watch to see if this takes place or not.
You know damn well he's playing.
I'm assuming he's playing.
In the Genesis, he was striping it around. He couldn't score. And all of a sudden he was sick. Like he was hitting it. Like sure. I was getting live updates from Fox, and he said he was absolutely putting on a ball striking clinic. Like
he looked good.
Yeah,
he really did.
Yep.
So that'll be good. That's what are we 3 weeks away now?
One last thing on the players too, and I just it's kind of a tie-in to we could start talking about Netflix once I'm done here, but Wyndham Clark, man, the shot that he hit on 17 to give himself a chance to still tie for the tournament, and then he hits it in there on 18, a good shot with a really makeable putt, and then he hits an absolute perfect putt, and it doesn't go in. Like he's got to be thinking, like, wow, like what do you got to do? Like he couldn't have played those last 2 holes any better than he did.
Nope.
No, legit. Like that 18th hole is no joke. Like that's a
not at all.
Long hole, water to the left, like very in play.
Oh yeah.
And the further you are away from the water, the longer shot you got coming into that green. Like that's a lot to take for those guys under pressure. Like going from 17 and 18, pretty impressive stuff. I couldn't believe that putt didn't go in either. But I mean, if he had the right
one, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say if he had the right speed there, I think that he would have missed it low. So that's kind of the only reason why he caught the edge, because he hammered it. But
maybe. You got to think though too, and not that it takes away from it, but he knows that he has to make birdie there. He's had the comfort of having quite a bit of earnings in the last year and a half, so he's probably thinking like when he gets to 18, like I don't give a shit if I put this in the water.
Yeah.
Like
true
this
enough.
I'm going for a birdie or I'm just not winning this tournament.
Which is probably the play, right?
Yeah. Whereas if you step up there with a 1-shot lead, I mean that fairway gets even tighter,
Yeah,
right?
very, very true. Because then all the pressure's on you.
Yeah, he had no pressure. I mean, he had pressure, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Got to figure out his putting routine as well.
With his
He is-
caddy?
with his caddy is weird, and it's quite timely
Caddy.
too.
How is that even legal?
Caddy. I don't know. Kind of sick,
Like-
actually.
Like, Buddy's got a club out and everything.
Yeah, he's got his wedge.
Every time. Every
Yeah.
time. It's kind of sick.
Different.
I mean, it's not like he's taking forever to do it. They get through it pretty fast, but still, I just can't believe that's legal. That somebody else can line up here, kind of address the ball for you.
It's actually quite funny. Like, I don't think the caddy does a goddamn thing. He just stands there, takes a couple little half strokes over the ball.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
I think it's just so Kngdom
walks
can
off.
see, right?
He
Yeah.
just walks off. Yeah, doesn't. I don't think he says a word.
I like it. I like Wyndham Clark, but we'll get to that.
One thing I did want to say about the players, and this is something I kind of observed throughout watching over the weekend, is just how good those greens are.
An entire course.
But I mean, just in terms of like the PGA overall, like we talk a lot about expectations and everything on the show. Like putting on those greens compared to the greens that we have here is legitimately like night and day. I mean, Gilbert might be a little bit different, a little bit better than most, but for the most part, like your average course in the prairies here, it's hard enough you got the percentages based on your expectations comparing pros to amateurs, but I don't think that even factors in how good those greens are. Like those are absolutely meticulous. And, you could hit a perfect putt here, a perfect 10-foot putt in Manitoba. And it has nothing to do with you. It's just the greens aren't the same. So I think we kind of have to mix that into our expectations a little bit as well and be a little bit less hard on ourselves because we're not putting on the same greens as the pros are.
Nor are we driving onto the same fairways that they are.
Except
Like
at Oakley.
No, I'm saying like the speed of their fairways is like the speed of our greens. Like they hit it
Like
probably-
distance-wise?
Yeah.
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 They manage it. I mean,
Greens, yeah.
Quite a
we
good
do pretty
roll.
well for what we have here for sure, but I mean, they got the
Yeah.
best in the world looking after that course, so it is quite different. So I just want to mention that in terms of managing expectations on the course, like those guys are literally putting on perfect
Perfection.
green. Yeah.
Heaven.
I'll be back in 1 sec. I gotta grab a beer. I'm on a Caesar and I need something.
Yeah, no problem. And the other aspect to that is the punch greens. Like that's even worse. People get so hard on themselves like when we have punch greens in the fall.
Oh.
And that's literally like hitting on Plinko. Like you have no idea what that thing's going to do at all. And people get mad.
You might as well not even putt.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't know. Like I've never actually played a course that it was like they didn't make some attempt to make it puttable.
For sure.
Like, have you actually gone to a place where it's just open holes in the green?
I feel like Sandy Lake Golf Course was like that for a while, where it was just like you couldn't really tell the difference between the fairway and the greens. But I think they went through some tough times out at Sandy Lake. I think they're back now though. Like I played there, I think 2 summers ago now, and the course was actually decent, much better than I remember it being. Fun little course, some different
sale,
holes.
I think.
Is it? It
Oh, it
was
was at
for a
one
lot
time.
of years, and I think that's
Yeah,
kind of
let's
where it
do
went
it.
to shit. But anyways,
I feel like just on that note, I still had my headphones in when I went downstairs, but I feel like courses in the last 2 years honestly have gotten like so much better at aerating the greens and being playable like sooner.
yes,
Yeah.
Like it used to get shut down for a week of shitty putting for when it got aerated, but now it's like 2 days with good weather.
yeah.
Biggest thing is
You'd
good
hardly even know
sand.
it's aerated. Mm-hmm.
And
And the
the
machine too, I think.
the equipment's much better. Like they used to be awful. Now, if you go to like Oak Island after they punch, you can hardly even tell that they did it.
It's actually, I think it's one guy that does a lot of them around here.
It is. They contracted out.
Yeah, same as here.
Shout out to who we got here. Leafar FX is in the Zap.stream chat. Said, what is this stream about?
You're about to find out, big boy.
Golf.
Stuff.
Mostly golf. Tonight we're
Golf,
talking about players. We're talking about the Netflix full swing, but it is a golf show. So we're tapping into the Bitcoin world with some golf. We've been doing it for a couple years now, and not Zap.stream, but tapping into the Bitcoin world. So welcome to Leafar FX. Glad to have you here tonight. And I can actually send them a little bit of Bitcoin for that.
For what?
Just for showing up. There you go. Some sats for him or her. Anyways, let's keep it rolling here. What do we got next? Rummy's at the end of Around the Greens for tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Let's get right into.
We got to get to AC.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
And mention his tea times. No, it's all good. We always do that Around the Greens. I'll bring him up here. He actually, I was Snapchatting him yesterday, and he sent me a picture. I said, because I saw that he was in Singapore, so I sent him a message, and then he was going back and forth. I said, how sick is that place? Like, it looks so futuristic. And he was actually on 18, and he sent me a picture of the club, or the clubhouse. And he's like, man, this clubhouse is like the definition of futuristic. And it was like it's hard to explain. It was like a semicircle just above the ground. And then I was like, well, there's got to be more to it, right? And he's like, yeah, the hotel is like below ground. And like there's like a huge shopping center and everything like in the clubhouse of the course they're playing at.
A below ground hotel?
In the clubhouse.
Well, I don't imagine that'd be very
It looks so sick, man. Like I'll actually I'll bring up a picture of it.
What's the name of the course?
Laguna National.
Do you want me to bring it up on screen?
Yep.
Sure. He's off at midnight tonight.
And 7 p.m.-ish tomorrow?
Singapore.
Yeah, 7:25 tomorrow night. Wow. Watchable.
It does look pretty sexy there. Some of those places, outside of North America are like Dubai is so far ahead of us here. Like it's actually insane.
Singapore too. Singapore is
a joke.
Like, you know those pictures that always pop up like on your background when you first open your computer?
Yeah.
There's always pictures of Singapore on there, man. It looks so incredible. Like a different world, honestly.
Yeah, that's what.
That's the future, cool. Baby.
That's pretty cool.
That looks like when they submit when they submit like plans, and this is what the plans look like. Concept design, yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, go down. That. Oh, sweet plane. I found.
It says the Masters course is best known for its fast, true Bermuda grass greens, among the most consistent and challenging in the region. Putting surfaces are approached on immaculately manicured parkland-style fairways, meandering effortlessly amongst decade-old massive rain trees and beautiful lakes that define the property. Pretty cool.
I found the Malaysian plane.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Looks sick.
That looks like Pebble Beach. Oh, look at that. It says among the classic course's many colorful flourishes is an island green on 17 that draws inspiration from TPC sawgrass and is the site of many dramatic finishes over the final holes.
And it's on 17?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Nice. Hopefully he's in the mix and we can watch him this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if that adds up, then it'll be like 7:00 Sunday or 7:00 Saturday and Sunday.
Good times. This is he was in Japan, I believe, when we were up all night for that second place.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The stream that never got streamed after.
Ooh.
Oh, night of the beer
Ooh.
fest.
There's there's a question in the Zapdos stream says, I have a question. Do you guys work on this platform like programming, directing, etc.? We do not. We are not smart individuals, technical guys. But the cool thing is I was doing a show yesterday on Zap.stream, and the creator of Zap.stream, his name is Kieran. He was in the live chat and he asked a question there. I didn't know that's who it was. And I kind of answered him like a smart ass because he said, how do you guys find Zap.stream? And I was like, you're here, so you obviously know how to find it. And then he kept kind of chatting back and forth with other people in the chat. And he's like, I actually made this website. And I was like, oh, I recognize that name, Kieran. So he was in the chat. I kind of chirped him and he sent some Bitcoin. So pretty cool.
He sent some Bitcoin.
So let's get to the main part of this evening's show, which is the Netflix Full Swing series. I finished it all on the weekend. I just had a lot of golf. I was very horny for golf. Finished her off. Drummy, you as well?
Yep, we finished the last episode on Sunday. So, yeah.
And Reggie got through the first 4. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on. I think probably sometime in the future, probably not too far away. Maybe next week we'll do it. We're going to do the Wheat City feature next week, local knowledge. So maybe we'll finish the last 4 because that's kind of the Ryder Cup stuff, the last 4 episodes. So we're going to focus mostly on the first 4 episodes today. What did you guys think of it? Better or worse than last year? So far.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, for me overall, I think like very quickly, I've determined it was a lot better than last year. And I don't actually have an answer as to why.
I think it's last year. It seemed like the whole stage was just like PGA versus Live, and that's all they talked about. Whereas this is actually going into like players, and it's going into what makes the players successful and why they struggle. I think is like a really cool part of it.
Yeah.
So do you remember last year we kind of felt that we didn't get much out of it as somewhat avid golf fans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. They just had to catch everybody else up to speed of what and who these people were, what was going on. And now they can actually go in and tell that person's story as opposed to what the hell was happening with Live versus PGA. But of course, that's exactly what the first episode is about. And it's like, Jesus Christ, here we go again. But they had the aspect that they were showing the not rivalry between Brooks and Rory. And I honestly don't think that's ever been a rivalry that's ever been showcased or like pushed. But now, maybe going forward, it's going to be. And then in the next turn, they're best friends. I don't know. There was kind of like a weird.
Did they
were
golf
trying
together?
to force something. But then at the Masters, they played the practice round. So then it did actually show what these guys' relationship is like behind the scenes and in real life.
Away from the media.
Yeah, they don't get. Yeah, exactly. I think that was my biggest takeaway from the entire series was how much pull the media has as to what the narrative is.
Yeah.
I think also you made a really good point about that. And not even so much just about Live versus PGA. Like they didn't have to catch the non-golfers up to Live versus PGA. They had to catch the non-golf fans up to the game of golf. And like,
yeah,
there was a lot of stuff that we already knew being golf fans in the first one. Like a whole bunch of stuff. It was kind of like you're watching and they're explaining like the game of golf and like how the tournaments work, how the scoring works. Like, yeah, we
Missed
know,
cuts,
but it's like the same as when we watched F1. Like we didn't know any of that stuff. Whereas like an avid F1 fan would have been like, okay, let's see some of the drivers here, right? And now we're actually getting to see some of the personalities and what makes them go and what makes them struggle. And you know, like it's way more relatable to an avid golfer now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this show should be and will, if it's not, it will become more popular than the F1 show.
Mm-hmm.
I think F1 shoots itself in the foot each week with the actual product of their sport. Because everybody shows up there knowing who is going to win the race.
They're in a tough spot there.
But
Yeah, what are they
like
supposed to do?
I know.
the thing is with F1, it's been like that forever.
Yeah, with Lewis before that, right?
It goes, yeah. So Lewis before that, there's always drivers that do 4 or 5 years, and it's just like that's who controls it. So
it seemed
I
like
think-
though that one year where Lewis was kind of on his way out and Max was on his way in, like that was the best season where it was very competitive between those two teams and race car drivers. So yeah, I think that I don't know how long the Netflix series is going to go in terms of the F1 stuff, but maybe someday somebody will overtake Max and this will go through the same kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Golf, man, those personalities are sick. They pick some good. It almost makes you wonder, like, I don't know, like, do they just follow every player?
No, they don't. But I think they have to start recycling some guys out.
But are they getting lucky?
Netflix?
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, I don't know if the majority of that stuff happens if Netflix isn't there, honestly, in terms of like Joel Damon taking off his shirt. I don't know. It's different when everybody acts different when they're on camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys know that they're on camera, but it's a much different scale between people who watch golf and people who watch Netflix. Like that's a much bigger audience. And so I think like the whole there's a lot of stuff I think there was even the Rory after the Ryder Cup, like I don't know. Does that happen if Netflix isn't kind of doing a special on it?
I mean, I
assume
just
so.
mean like,
I
are
assume so.
they videoing every storyline? Like, it just seems like
Well, they have
everything
to,
they
right?
touch turns to gold. Like Wyndham winning after they show all that stuff.
No doubt.
Like,
They also have. So everybody that they've filmed so far, they've been filming for 2 years. So there was a lot of Tom Kim stuff that was from last year. There was a lot of Ricky stuff because we didn't get a Ricky episode last year. There was a lot of Ricky stuff that was incorporated into this year and whatnot. So I think they have to recycle some of those guys out too. Like, okay, we told this guy's story. There's not really much more going on. Like, unless they're winning every tournament, the Netflix people aren't going to give a shit. Like the Netflix watchers aren't going to give a shit about some of those players.
So do you think they video every player as well? I'm asking.
No.
Are they always videoing every player
that they've signed up? Or are you saying that every player on tour?
No, that they've signed up.
I think they're kind of always around, and then they take a lot of footage from like the PGA stuff as well.
Like even Brooks, like they're showing him, and then all of a sudden he wins, and they're showing like it's just like everything they touch turns to gold.
I mean, that's editing, but yes, they follow those. I think it's like 12 hours a day they're with them.
That's nuts.
And hockey signed up to do this too, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
Dusty Dick in the chat says Joel Damon should be very embarrassed regarding how he came across in season 2. Guy's a child now and portray himself as being a victim for having to leave home. I tend to agree with that. So maybe we'll start with that. We had 3 kind of categories that we're going to touch on here in terms of which player you liked more, less afterwards, and then what kind of surprised you about the whole thing. So let's start based on that comment. And who'd you guys like less after watching the Netflix special than before? Drummy?
Who I liked less was Zach Johnson. I think was the only person I liked less. And I didn't like Zach Johnson to begin with.
He's such a tool, eh?
I honestly don't think he came off as like that bad of a guy. There's just something about him that's always rubbed me the wrong. Also, am I completely wrong here? But I've lived my entire life. I thought he had a cleft palate my whole life. Didn't know until I watched that show that he did. Weird.
I thought that was just, I still do.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him in that show yet.
Okay,
maybe you got it fixed.
But I don't know. Like there wasn't a time where he came on the screen where I wasn't like, get him the fuck off. I don't care about him. And he's the Ryder Cup captain.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't like Joel Damon in this.
I didn't either.
Huh. I'm miffed by this because I didn't see it that way. That he said, that Dusty Dick said. Maybe I have to watch it again.
I didn't like the fact that he just kept saying that he's famous now. He's famous. My life has changed so much because I'm so famous. It's too much pressure when you're a shitty golfer and you're this famous. It's like I don't know if he actually said it that much or if that's kind of the
Yeah, he
message that
did. He
Netflix
did.
wanted to portray about him. But that's the message that I received is like he was almost like blaming his shitty golf on having to go to these events and drink so many beers and be so famous. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, but are you that famous though? Like, I don't
Yes.
think he's that is he?
From compared to where he was before
For
this
sure.
series.
Yeah.
I mean, I never think about Joel Damon in any golf tournament. And even if he was at a golf tournament and I was there and he walked by, I would probably just have a sip of my beer. Like, I don't think he's famous at all.
Yeah, I don't know. His life would have changed for sure because he would have got a big following from like people. Like he was pretty cool in the last one. He was a beauty.
He was.
But I don't like how he's playing victim. That he's got now he's more
Yeah.
famous and it's tough. But I also understand it. But I don't know. There's just a couple parts of it that I didn't like. I don't mind him being upset about the situation he's in because it is a lot more pressure on him, and it would be tough, especially when you're struggling and people expect you to be a beauty all the time. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Back
I
to-
take him as a completely different than you guys do. I think I don't know. I really liked that episode. I really liked when they got to like his vulnerabilities and speaking about the mental health aspects of it. Like he was somebody that's gone through mental health issues in the past, been open about it, and refused to take or go to a
Therapy.
therapist. Which to somebody that hasn't been to a bad therapist, that does not make sense to you. If you've gone to a bad therapist and spent any time with a bad therapist, you never ever want to go through therapy again. It's the worst thing to ever put yourself through again with a bad therapist.
Yeah.
On
I
the
could see
flip
that.
side is it's the absolute best thing you can do for yourself in the world with a good therapist. Now, a good therapist is dependent on the person too. So like those are the things I got out of it with
Right.
Joel,
Right.
not necessarily him putting himself as a victim.
It also
That's
kind of
fair.
it also kind of pissed me off. I think the only thing that really pissed me off was like he said he doesn't want to go to a sports psychologist, and it's like,
But that's that's what he's saying.
yeah, I know.
I've done this before.
I get it. Yeah,
It didn't
I
go
get
good
it,
for
yeah.
me. It almost
Right.
caused me to commit suicide. I'm not going to
Right.
another fucking sports therapist.
Right.
But then like
Yeah.
your best friend sits you down and says, "Bro, I'm leaving our team, our friendship, if you don't get your shit figured out." His wife telling him,
Yeah.
"You have to get your shit figured out for our family because you are fucking up right now, son.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing cuts.
Yeah.
You're not playing good golf. You're drinking far too much." People like me and Joel need that smack in the face, like a
Yeah.
literal smack in the face.
You're
Yeah.
probably right, Drummy.
We'll just carry on. Like his life changed so much. He was trying to do everything. I understand all that.
Yeah.
New kid, the amount of exposure that he's had, everything changed for that dude.
Yeah.
Netflix is always going to push their name. So him
Yeah.
saying Netflix got me famous, I'm Netflix
That's
famous.
what I was
They're
thinking.
going to push. They're going to
Yeah.
make that be said a million times per episode. That's how I took Joel in that episode. I was
Yeah.
fucking bawling when they were on that plane.
Were you really?
Like a baby. Losing it.
I must have been in a different mindset maybe when I watched it or a different mood. I don't know. I kind of thought it was a little bit weird, but
There
I don't
were
know.
aspects of it
Everybody's
where I'm
different.
like,
Me
are they
too.
breaking up? And then it got super emotional and then the hug. Yeah, it was super weird, but I was bawling like a little bitch.
Yeah. But yeah.
Fair
Oh,
points.
that's good. Yeah.
Fair points.
Definitely.
Back to ZJ though. I really dislike the fact that like leading up to the Ryder Cup, like Ricky, JT,
Hey, don't spoil it.
Spieth. Well, nothing really to spoil, but they're like having breakfast together, and they're like, I don't know. It just seemed weird that he was there. Like those three, I get hanging out, but why are they hanging out with him at a breakfast? And he's like trying to be their bro, and he's like calling JT like Jay Tizzle, and it's just like, man, cool the Jets here a little bit. Like it maybe even meant like I remember reflecting on that on the Kingdom about the Ryder Cup and how I didn't think JT should have been there. Ended up being wrong about that because JT had a hell of a performance in the Ryder Cup. But at the same time, I didn't like the way that it just seemed like it was only because it was the old boys club. That's the vibe I got then. And it solidified that watching the Netflix. And sorry, Reggie, I forgot that was a little bit further on in the thing, but that's kind of my ZJ. Did you not say ZJ too, Reggie? Oh no, you said Joel Damon.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, I said I hadn't seen that yet. Actually, Jenna Sims was I like her a lot less.
Yeah, she.
And same as Brooks's coach or whatever he is.
I like Paulina a lot more.
Claude Harmon? Like,
holy
fuck off.
shit, guy.
Why'd they even waste their time?
Cool your jets, yeah. Nobody knows who the fuck you are.
He was a bit over.
You weren't your fucking Butch's son, you psycho.
And you didn't even do what they did. He was talking like he was the one that did it.
Holy.
Yeah. Say he's average one more time. Look how Brooksy fucking proved it. Okay, settle down.
Yeah.
Sitting in a dark room. Chill out.
By himself, and then was never on the show again.
Yeah.
Who?
Claude
Harmon. Yeah. The only reason he's anything is because he's Butch's son. Like,
who's
yourself, buddy.
Whose caddy is he, or whose agent is he?
He's the coach for Brooks and DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Okay. Who else was on there that I wanted to talk about? There was a couple of comments from Instagram. I'm always really late with Instagram posting it. I don't know why. I'll learn one day. But as Dusty Dick said, ZJ. Kyle Campbell said ZJ. And ZJ also said ZJ, but I must have messed that up. Somebody else said that too. And Boomer said Rory. Liked Rory less. I'm in the same camp.
You like him less than last year?
Do. Yeah.
Oh. I like him way more this one.
I shouldn't be so hard on him. That was kind of leading up to the point where the whole merger happened with Liv and the PGA. But up until that point, I just thought Rory was just such an arrogant. He said that his best relationship in the PGA was with Jay Monahan. I was like, what? That's super.
No, he said he's Jay's best.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
He said Jay's best.
Yeah. Like he's the closest with Jay, not like
that's my best
the
friend.
One that's the closest with Jay.
Oh.
Of the players, I'm the closest with Jay. Not me and Jay are best friends. Fuck everybody else.
Oh, that's what I got from it. Maybe I just misread.
No. Yeah.
I did like the fact that because I kind of assumed that Rory was kind of in on the whole thing and kept in tune with everything, but it sounded like you're pretty pissed at Jay.
So mad. And that's where I turned and started liking him again. Because he was like, really? I'm putting in all this work and you're just going to do this? Fuck you then. Literally.
Yeah, he said, I put my head out there for this and then I get this.
I'm the sacrificial lamb for this shit? Fuck you.
Yeah.
And he hasn't said a word. He hasn't said much about Liv since then.
No.
Which is good.
He's actually gone the opposite. Now he wants them back and wants to integrate and be cohesive with them. So, yeah. Reg, we got to ask your boy why we're not in the podcast lineup in the car.
Yeah. I saw Fried Egg was there.
Fried Egg was in there, and Encanto. Kngdom needs to be on there. Talk to
for
him.
Encanto. I was gonna screenshot that and then crop in the Kngdom on there and say, "Well,
that would have been unreal."
Likes us.
You should do that.
Yeah,
we should.
Okay,
best quote. I got a best quote of episode 1. Fuck. someone in my era now has more majors than me.
Rory.
That's the type of shit that is the stuff that I wanted out of this. That has been eating that man up since he won his last major. That he hasn't won one in 8 years or whatever it is, kills him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that too, actually.
Who do you guys like more? Drums, you said Rory?
Oh yes, Rory and somebody else went up in my books. And I mean, obviously, Kngdom.
Yeah.
Kngdom is somebody that I knew
on Instagram too.
Absolutely nothing about. And then as soon as you hear his story, I'm 100% in this guy's corner. And then he golfs incredibly to back it up. So that's definitely a person that I will always cheer for unless he does something stupid.
I think for me, who I liked more, I honestly, I'm with you, Drums, there. I liked Kngdom a lot more. I also like Ricky more than I did before somehow. I don't know. The reason I like Ricky is just because it seems like he's kind of been with those guys his whole life, like the JTs, the Spieths, and he just doesn't act like them at all. He has a much different demeanor. He speaks much differently than they do, which is kind of weird because usually when you associate so much with people, you kind of like talk like them and act like them. But he's just kind of his own guy, and it's kind of cool to see
the difference.
him with the golf. Was it the golf boys with Bubba and I like that. Bridge was also with me, and she had a good laugh. She was like, "What is that?" when they were laughing. And he was a dirt biker. And then Tom Kim too. Tom Kim, I love him from the day he kind of walked onto the tour. But just the main thing for me was Tom
a lot
Kim
of heat
talking
online.
to that guy. Pardon me?
Ton of heat online for that episode.
For which one? About him?
Tom. Yep.
The part that I really liked, I think it was in the first episode second episode when they learned about the merger and how they were all kind of in the dark about everything. And Tom Kim was talking to that guy that he was pouring water or something. And he basically just called him out because the guy pretended like he didn't know what was going on. And he's like, "Yeah, we really believe that. Nobody believes that." And the guy was just stunned that Tom Kim called him out. And to me, it's just like you could tell that Tom Kim's been so his whole life, he's kind of just been preparing for where he is today. And for him to kind of go off on somebody like that, like off script, I just feel like a lot of those PGA players are so on script with everything and so rehearsed with everything that they say. And he's just like totally different than that.
So he took heat as being weird or what, Drums?
No. So I think it was more like around the production that it was so pushed that he was the next Tiger Woods and this global phenomenon superstar that everyone in the world knows except for the people that have not yet to watch the show. So they were kind of like that. Like, did Tom really need his own full episode? I didn't know this, but there are a ton of golf writers that don't think Tom Kim is as good as we think he is. Yeah.
I mean, he's like I found 22 years old.
He's 21. Like, he's 20.
21.
He's the first since Tiger to have 2 wins on tour before the age of 20.
And he won his third when he was 21 because they asked him what
there's something about this
in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's like, "I want to eat that chocolate that I never got to eat."
Yeah.
I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to go up to my room and I'm going to go to bed. But I really want that chocolate. You can tell
Tom's the tank engine. Like, he's just a beauty.
Yeah,
you could like those pictures he was taking, and he took that one on the stairs and he was holding a little train.
And he's just wandering around Augusta aimlessly. All of a sudden, he's in the champions room.
He goes into the champions room.
Yeah, I don't think I should be in here. And that guy's like, "I know you're Tom Kim, but you need to get the fuck out of here." It's like,
I like it. He was my choice for Kngdom. Kngdom was the obvious one, but I've only watched 4 episodes, and Tom Kim, man, I thought I liked him before, but man, I watched that episode and he's just like, you just want to like grab his cheeks and just pinch them, like he's just like a little, like he looks like a little, I don't know, man, he's a beauty. And he's got the biggest calves on tour now. You don't get to
he's a
see those
unit.
puppies
He's
with
a
the
unit.
pants on, but you can see why he ripped pants at the Ryder Cup. Like those things are massive.
Yeah.
He did not need to walk out of there on crutches though. That was a bit too much for me. You golfed 54 holes and now you need crutches? At least
Probably wasn't his choice, I'm guessing, but who knows?
But
at
he's
least
probably
walk
heavily
your,
taped up.
but get to the car. You made like the whole episode was about how he persevered through this unbelievable injury, and now, like as soon as he's done, now he needs like a bit about that is like wait till you get out of the car at home and then
He
put the
was
crutches on.
grinding though, eh? Holy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't remember that.
No, me
Honestly.
either. They didn't really cover that at all because it was all about big putter.
The
Cool.
funniest thing with him was Liz. After we watched the episode, Liz was like, "Oh, I feel so bad for him," because she
For Tom
thought they
Kim.
were like punking him while they were golfing with him and like treating him like the little brother.
Grinch said
And
the
then he
same
goes,
thing, actually.
I don't have any friends. And I'm like, well, I mean,
Yeah,
he grew up without friends.
I don't have any friends.
Most
I'm
of
kind of
these
happy
guys,
to be around these guys.
yeah, kind of happy to be
Finally
around
get
these guys.
some
And then I was
friends.
like, oh shit, maybe you're right.
Yeah, they were definitely bullying him at times.
He did have a
Not
good
bullying,
relationship with
but-
Spieth. That looked like a
Yeah.
good relationship, actually. Big brother, little
JT
brother.
was kind of chirping him.
See, there's times where JT seems like the biggest prick on the planet that I could never be around. And then there's other times where I think he is one of the boys.
I like him. Netflix has changed my view on him.
For better or worse?
Better. I like him.
See, 1 minute
don't
he'll
love
go
him, but
better
I
in my
like him.
book, and then I'll blink and he goes
Me
down
too,
in my
Drums.
book.
Me
And I
too.
don't
I'm
know
the
what
exact
that
same
is.
way.
He's just so arrogant, like that it makes you not like
That's
him.
part of it.
Even
Like when he
a
goes
toast
Mito
to Mito?
Pereira, thanks to
Yeah.
Mito, yeah.
That was gross, honestly. Like, I mean, he probably did it just for a laugh because he knew Netflix was there. But at the same time, it's like that's just trashy.
It is.
I liked it. That was wild. That's a wild move.
Jor, going back to what you said about Ricky, how he is different from the rest of those guys, I think it's how you can tell the people that grew up differently from what golfers are. Brooks is completely
Definitely.
different from those guys. Ricky is completely different from those guys. So just like my initial thought without ever investigating it is they grew up as higher tier rich. The others were underneath them. Maybe they weren't poor, but they were definitely underneath them. And just how that molds and shapes the personality.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And Tom Kim, kind of going back to what I was saying there in terms of like him just going off the rails and going rogue on everybody. Like even the fact that how much he was eating in the chocolates, and he's like, my trainer's not going to like the fact that I'm eating it. You could tell just like he's the man child that just like every time he's by himself, he's just like wolfing down like hoagies and like chocolate bars, and like every chance that he get, he's slipping away from the grip that they tried to put him into.
In and out burger, whatever.
He was talking about burgers, like he's like he was talking about the bad monkey in his head.
Yeah, exactly.
The bad monkey's always trying to tell him to eat ice cream, and he's like, the bad monkey's so crazy, like I can almost taste the ice cream when he's trying to make me eat it. He's got the chubby cheeks, like you can tell he scarfs fast food. But then you can also tell, like he said after he won that tournament, that he's gonna go finish the chocolate because obviously somebody's been hired to cut him back,
to control
him. Yeah.
Well,
and they're
like
if
there's
you win the
there's
tournament,
that.
you can eat the chocolate.
But there's also like, hey, this guy just won a golf tournament. He has nothing to go back to other than a chocolate bar.
Yeah,
like that's where Liz was like, I feel sorry for this guy, and I'm like,
true.
You know, like the memes where guys will be like, hell yeah. And hearing Tom Kim talk about this piece of chocolate after winning a tournament, I was like, hell yeah. Get that chocolate, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to think, and it's all we see, like as a fan and as a person who's never really been there before, all we see is like the finished product for these guys on the tour, right? But they spend their entire lives. People don't understand how many hours these guys put into practicing, and they spend their whole life, for the most part. I mean, there are exceptions in terms of guys who are just that skilled and stuff, but like Tiger, Tom Kim, like to get to that level at anything, you cannot have any sort of social life. You're not going to parties. You're not going hanging out with your friends after school. Like you're golfing. That's all you're doing for your entire life.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense that he's in that sort of position. And it is kind of sad. But I also think that, I also don't think you get to that level of skill unless you actually
Outside
love
play.
it. Right. So
Well, for sure.
it's a trade-off. And Trev says, where's Ricky in the best player without a major discussion? He's got to be
At the
right
top.
up there, I would say.
Is he
Gotta be
best?
top.
He's definitely up there in favorite.
Yeah.
That's never won. A little bit further into this, but Luke Donald is up there on my list for that category.
Best without a major.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I liked
He's
him.
world number one.
He was world number one, and I liked him when we were young in that like 03, 04 era.
The visor era.
The visor era. That was like him and Poltz kind of around at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah. I liked him. And then he just seems like an absolute amazing human being when you get to the Ryder Cup episodes. Amazing person. So he's going to be on that list for me as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Dusty made a comment about the Ryder Cup. We're going to save the Ryder Cup discussion for next week. We'll wrap her up for tonight, I think, in terms of the Netflix stuff. We got a couple more things to touch on. But first of all, Reggie's birthday coming up this weekend. So I'd give you a cheers, Reggie, but maybe we'll save it for next week. But happy early birthday.
Cute.
The
Happy
second one here, I
birthday.
want to. What's that, Drummy?
I just said happy birthday.
Oh. Second one I wanted to give a shout out to is Grey Ridge Coffee. I don't know if you guys saw the Instagram story today, but ordered some coffee from Grey Ridge. They are a coffee producer out of Minnedosa, Manitoba. All the beans and everything are brewed, roasted, whatever the process is there in Minnedosa. So pretty good stuff. I've tried it a couple times. I ordered 4 bags, I think, was sent. And so I'm going to be trying that out. We got the Nicaraguan one tomorrow. It's a tough one to say. But I wanted to give a shout out to them.
You're skating on thin ice there.
I was dangerously close there. But
there was
I'm not
open
going
water.
to double down. I'm not going to double down and say it again. That coffee, we'll be trying that out tomorrow morning. So big shout out to Grey Ridge Coffee out of Minnedosa. They're now available in Sobeys as well in Brandon. So pretty cool. Cool story. It seems like they're growing at a good pace. So shout out to Chris from Grey Ridge Coffee. And with that, let's get to the last part of the show. This is a good one. And I don't know if Mr. Rickman's in the chat or not still, but we're going to do our Fix Your Divots, everybody's favorite part of the show. This segment of the show is sponsored by our friends at Prairie Scratch Tour, the premier golf stop tour in Manitoba. Still pretty far east in terms of where we like to play our golf, but pretty good stuff they're doing. Very exciting. The best golfers are there. If you are somebody who wants to be competing, I know it's pretty rare these days to be able to compete with the best golfers, but check out Prairie Scratch Tour.ca and give them a follow on Instagram. So with that, we do a show every week, Fix Your Divots, calling out people's biggest pet peeves on the golf course. So we got a good one tonight. Drummy, what is it?
Yes, sir. This one comes from our boy, Sean Rickman. He says, unstrapping golf bags on the cart. So I'm assuming what he's meaning is somebody playing a dirty, dirty, dirty trick on one of their boys and unfastening their golf bag on their cart and watching them take off when said golf bag dumps on the ground. Could cause some damage that way. You're a scumbag, in my mind. Should never be allowed on a golf course again. Or at least like I'm going to go 15-day suspension.
Oh, did I freeze? Are we back?
Yeah,
Back?
you're here.
Oh, Yeah, I'm with you, Drums. That is the scumbag move of the year, I think. I don't think there's anything dirtier that you could do on the golf course than that.
Gross.
I mean, especially 2024, golf clubs ain't cheap. You're paying about $20,000 for a new set of clubs now. So if you're screwing with those things, at least make sure that they got a couple nice King Golf head covers on them to protect the drivers. But I don't think under any circumstances, unless it's like a guy who's plays golf a couple times a year or every couple years and has clubs from like the 80s and it's just kind of like a joke. But if somebody has like a newer set of golf clubs and a new driver, especially like a Scotty Camera in that bag, never, ever, under any circumstances, no matter how many beers you have, do not ever unstrap those clubs from the cart, ever.
I
Can't do it.
don't even want to start talking about it. I'll go off on here. That's like the thing that drives me the craziest, and people think it's so fucking funny. Like it is not funny. Like that is like the scummiest thing. I had a driver broken one time with that.
The worst part about it is
driver ever got broken that way.
It got broken?
Yeah. Somebody unstrapped him and fell off the back and the shaft snapped.
Who?
I don't know who did it.
Call him out.
No.
The worst thing about that
Strata
is like,
driver with a red and yellow shaft. Remember those?
Oh yeah, I thought it was blue and yellow.
Like I
was
said,
like
the
that
fact
silver
that
head.
you can do that if the guys play golf every couple of years, but it's always the guys who play golf every couple of years who are the ones who are doing that.
Definitely.
like they have top flight T750s or something from
a yard sale
on their bag, but then they're the ones bringing down the $3,000 set of clubs, and they think it's funny. So
yeah, Dal used to do that, but now Dal would never do that because he has clubs.
Yeah, true. Very true. So that's a good one. I actually can't believe we went that long without.
I think we've talked about it before, though.
I don't think we have.
I think
we've talked about it on here before, but it's never been
definitely talked about it.
Fixed or divots. Because it was a blue head top flight Strata with a red and yellow shaft.
Very fair.
Bought from Gary Brennan.
Okay, well, just to kind of round things out for tonight, I think the main takeaway from the Netflix stuff and our interpretation of it is it seemed like for the most part, guys were on the same page with the Wyndhams, Tom Kites, ZJs, but it is kind of crazy just talking amongst us three. Tom Kim, amongst us three, who see fairly eye to eye with most things in life, but we interpret them much different than each other. So it's kind of cool. I didn't expect that, honestly. So it really depends on what mood you're watching, kind of what you resonate most with, and is interesting. Made for an interesting chat tonight. So Rickman says, I've seen a broken driver that was never replaced and hands thrown before. Oh, fists. Yikes. That's tough. Never a good scene, no doubt.
They scrapped and still never replaced the driver? That's crazy.
Probably not friends anymore. Anyways, that was full swing. First 4 episodes, maybe 4 or 5. And next week, we're going to have the next part with the Ryder Cup chat. This year, we're going to have the President's Cup here in Montreal, so maybe we'll touch on that a little bit as well. And then we're going to be talking about Wheat City Golf Course for the local knowledge. It's their time to shine. So if you do have anything, I think that there's going to be a lot of interesting takes on the Wheat City Golf Course in terms of different tips, different ways people play the course. And so I'm really looking forward to that one. That is me and Drummy's somewhat home course. Drummy's for sure. My second home course. So look forward to that. We'll be posting something tomorrow. If you do have any tips, tricks, you can get in touch with us and we'll give you a shout out on next week's show. So Ryder Cup, local knowledge next week. I think that's it for my list that I had here. And thanks everybody for joining. Make sure there's always quite a few viewers, always quite a few people who watch the show. If you don't mind, click the like button, leave a comment. We're leading up to golf season here. We want to keep this train rolling. We love showing up here every week. So we don't ask ever but maybe we need to once in a while. So for us, we appreciate it. Everybody on Zap.stream.
Oh, he cut out right as he's pumping the tires of that other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Oh,
What's that?
You cut out right when you were talking about Zap.stream.
Oh, I just said shout out to the 4 or 5 people that were in there, and to Leafar FX for being in the chat there. So maybe we'll evolve there slowly. So, anyways, Drummy, take us out of here, my friend.
That's it. That's all. We are out of here for another week. We will see you next week, same place, same time. See what's happening with the rest of Full Swing. We're out of here for this week. Love you, boys. Later. Peace.
See you,
Love
boys.
you, fellas.